Hello, I wanted to discuss another real-world DAX scenario with you today. So, in the past, we had a client who wanted to monitor actuals versus budget, but they wanted to have different perspectives. So, when the actuals were less than the assigned budget, they wanted to see the actuals in one bar, the blue bar, and the remaining budget in another bar. So both of them are expressed as percentages of the original budget. But when the expenditure increased and passed the budget threshold, they wanted to see that extra expenditure in red as a percentage of the original budget as well. So effectively they wanted to combine these two graphs in one graph. And there were various ideas thrown in the discussion. Some involved the use of KPIs, some other involved the graphical manipulation of the two graphs. And my proposition was that we could use some simple changes in the measures to have one graph that would show the correct bars when needed. So let's go over the mock data that I'm using in this example to start with. We have three cases: the in-budget case, where the actuals are less than the budget. The actuals are 1,000, which is 50% of the assigned budget of 2,000 euros, so to say. The second case, the reached budget case, involves a situation where the actuals are exactly equal to the budget. And the third case, the out-of-budget case, involves a situation where the actuals are 2,000, which is more than the 1,500 of assigned budget, and that's 1/3 of the original budget of 1,500. So we can start with the first graph, which is how we would think about expressing the actuals as a percentage of the budget as a first draft. So that would be a simple that would be a simple division of the actuals over the budget, with 0 replacing a potential 0 or blank value in the denominator, while the remaining budget will be 1 minus the percentage of the actuals already spent. So 100% minus 50% in this case equals to 50%. If we go in the out-of-budget case, we would have the actuals over the budget being effectively the percentage actuals already spent minus 1. So if we go back to the first case and we see what would happen if the actuals were over the assigned budget, so that's the case number 3. We have 2,000 actuals, 1,500 budget, so the actuals are 133.33% of the budget. And if we subtract 1 of that, we get 33%. So the first graph wouldn't work properly in the out-of-budget case. The second graph does not work properly in the in-budget case because we do not want to have the red bar in that case. And in order to make it work, we just create one graph. We have all the three measures, and we change them in order to cap them as follows. So the actuals over budget in all-in-one So let's start with actuals as a percentage of budget, the blue bar, all in one, right? So we still have the same division, actuals over budget, but if that division returns a number that is over 100%, then it stops at 100%. Otherwise, it's that division. So in that case, we can see when we are in budget, we have the result of the division. Also, when we are exactly at budget, that's a trivial case. It's always going to result to 100%, right? Because the numerator and the denominator are equal. But when we go out of budget, this stops at 100%. If you remember, in the out of budget case, the result of the division is 133.33%. So our if statement here caps it at 100%. Similarly, the remaining budget percentage, which was 1 minus the actuals percentage, is also going to be capped at 0. So when actuals cross the budget threshold, this will stop at 0, and consequently, in the out of budget case, the green bar won't be visible, while the in budget case, actuals are less than the budget, the budget still available percentage measure is greater than 0, and it will return the result of that remaining budget that we had before as well. And finally, for the out of budget case, we have actuals over budget percentage would be again the division, the actuals percentage minus 1. In that case, the 133% was the actuals percentage. We subtract 1 and we have 33.33%. And we also cap this at 0. So when the actuals are less than budget and the actuals over budget percentage is negative, it stops at 0. So in the in budget case, we have no red bar. So this covers all the 3 scenarios that we can have. And this is a very simple way, without defining KPIs or doing strange manipulations, to actually create this polymorphic, should we say, end result that the client wanted.